So I had to go through some really heart changes in my education because I was taught in medical school that you could get everything that you needed just by eating a healthy diet. People look at RDA levels, recommended dietary allowance. Sometimes in Canada, they talk RDI. But what it is RDAs were developed back in the 1940s as the minimal amount of nutrient needed to avoid what we call acute deficiency diseases. So when I started to study and looked at chronic degenerative disease and all of these nutrients, I found RDAs had absolutely nothing to do with it. Those were diseases like pellagra, scurvy, or rickets, and RDAs had done their job. For example, I would study, the RDA of vitamin E is 30 international units. However, in order to get a health benefit, you would have to get up to 300, 400 IUs of vitamin E. Well, just go out and eat 400 IUs of vitamin E. You only need to get in 33 heads of spinach, or 27 pounds of butter, or 5 pounds of wheat germ each and every day. In fact, my patient said, geez, I bought a 5-pound jar of wheat germ, took me 2 years to get it down. Vitamin C, the RDA is 60 milligrams. Well, you don't see a health benefit until you get over 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Well, what you find is that you can go ahead and get that by eating 80 avocados or 16 or 18 large oranges. So that's the first thing that I realized. So when we talk about cellular nutrition, we're talking about these optimal levels that have been shown in our medical literature that provide a health benefit to my patients. Well, then you look at it, if you look at any of my books, when you look at my recommendations for cellular nutrition, we're looking at all kinds of different antioxidants that work in different parts of the body against different free radicals. I'm putting in all the B vitamins, the antioxidant minerals, vitamin D, all of this, and it takes up 2 pages. And this just scares my patients. So how can I take all these pills? I can't handle it. Well, let's thank RX, because RX has made it simple for me, my patients, and for you, because they looked at the worldwide medical literature and they put all of these optimal or advanced levels in 2 bottles, and it's Optimal V and Optimal M. So all my patients or I or my family have to do is take 3 Optimal V in the morning with 2 Optimal M with food, and then again in the evening. That provides the cellular nutrition that I'm recommending in my books. So I don't have to worry about my patients getting enough vitamin D or selenium, or getting magnesium, or getting vitamin C, vitamin E. I want my patients to receive all of those health benefits that I've read about in the medical literature. I don't want them to be smorgasbord nutritionists to go out, oh, I'm going to get some vitamin C, or then they run down, oh, I think vitamin D is good, or I'm going to do this. We put it all together. Not only is it complete, but it's balanced. Well, the other thing is I'm dealing with an unregulated market. The FDA looks at nutritional supplementation much like they do foods. There's really very little manufacturing guidelines for almost all companies. And even if they follow food grade good manufacturing practices, they really only have to have about 30% in their capsule or tablet that they say is on the label. Now, I'm used to writing drugs and prescribing, and I want my patients to get what I prescribe. So the first thing I did when I went to RX is I looked at their quality of manufacturing, and they didn't have to do this, but first of all, they're an FDA registered facility. Now, what does that mean? That means they have actually invited the FDA to come in and look at the raw products they get in, how they manufacture their products, and the quality of putting it all together. And so RX manufacturing facility is RDA registered. But then I looked at, which was more important to me, is they were also licensed to manufacture over-the-counter drugs, OTC certified. Now that gives RX the ability to put that label 100% guaranteed potency. because they have 100% of what's on that label in their capsules. Well, they don't just make that claim, they actually send their products out, the Optimals especially, to third-party labs, NSF and Consumer Lab. RX is also unique, and they've told both of these third-party labs that they wanted to check every nutrient in the Optimals. And that's exactly what they did. And they said no other company's ever asked us to do that. So as a physician, I'm not only looking, I want the quality. I want my patients to be, if they're going to take these, I want them to be getting them at these levels. And I want it to be complete and balanced. Now, why do I want that? Because what you find is, like I mentioned, even though we study one nutrient at a time, there's a concept called synergy. In other words, all of these nutrients work together. For example, vitamin E is the absolute best antioxidant within the cell membrane. Vitamin C is the best antioxidant within the plasma or fluid. Glutathione is the most potent intracellular antioxidant. But for these nutrients to work, or these antioxidants work, they need the so-called B cofactors and antioxidant minerals. If we're depleted in selenium, they just can't do their job as well as they should. But not only that, vitamin E actually replenishes vitamin C, and vitamin C replenishes vitamin E, so it can be used over and over and over again. 1 + 2 is not, 3. It becomes 10, 20, 30. Alpha lipoic acid is another very potent antioxidant in the Optimals. But it replenishes not only that vitamin E, but the intracellular glutathione. So there's a concept that I use and we call it the dark side of oxygen, which is oxidative stress. We're actually rusting inside when it comes, and this process has been found to be the root cause of over 100 of these chronic degenerative diseases I would love to avoid, and my patients would love to. It is the fact that, this oxidative stress, it's all about balance. You want to have enough antioxidants on board to handle the number of free radicals you're producing. If you do, because an antioxidant has the ability to neutralize that free radical and render it harmless. So just by taking the Optimals as part of a healthy lifestyle, and of course I always recommend you should be supplementing a healthy diet and exercise modestly, but I think it's part of a healthy lifestyle, because I'll just give you one example. Vitamin D. In the Optimals, we have 2,000 international units of the most potent vitamin D, D3. Now, that is at the level that if you look at the worldwide medical literature, you get the level of vitamin D that decreases your risk of all viral infections by over 50%. Well, in this day of virus, that's just one nutrient. You start looking at the grapeseed extract. It's 50 times more potent than vitamin C and 50 times more potent than vitamin E. And it's also a natural anti-inflammatory. That's in your Optimals. So what I do now is, there is a health benefit if you take this daily, because the longer you take it as part of a healthy lifestyle, the more benefit you receive. You can optimize your natural antioxidant defense system. But that same cellular nutrition, the Optimals, can optimize your body's natural immune system. And that's what we want. That's our great protector. It's about immune health. And that's first step therapy that we talk about with our Nutrify brand. That's the thing we're really looking at and trying to teach our people. That's what we want. We want to protect our health. But it also optimizes our body's natural repair system. So those are the health benefits that you have by taking the Optimals. In my medical practice, I recommend all my patients, whether they're healthy or not, it does not matter. The basis of my nutritional supplement recommendation are the Optimals. Now, I have patients who want to add MOA. Well, the more the merrier. So MOA has 36 plus superfoods, and there are many of the mushrooms and all that actually improve your immune system and enhance that. But you got all these super antioxidants, and remember, balance is the key. So I look at the optimals and MOA like Batman and Robin. They work together. That's the key. And so in this time, you want to do that. And people also decide, hey, I need some CoQ10. They take Omega Q, or they might turn around and say, hey, I'm a little bit worried about my thinning of my bones or the rhythm of my heart. So they'll take Magna-Cal D. But here again, you take Magna-Cal D, you're adding another 2,000 international units of vitamin D. Now, being in Canada, you live north, you don't get the sun, you don't get the vitamin D. It's amazing. As the further north you go, the more problem you have with maintaining those good vitamin D levels. But the optimals are what I wanted to focus on today. And this is what it's all about. We're here and we're promoting health. This is the thing that we're seeing. And healthy people, we just don't get as sick. And even if we get a viral or bacterial infection, we recover. Our immune system is built up to attack it, and we don't get it as serious. And trust me, with all viruses, the severity varies based on the individual. And that's why we have first step therapy, where we use slender eyes and we do things because we don't want people to be pre-diabetic. We don't want them to have obesity. Whether you get the viral flu or any viral infection, you're going to do better. You do better. So it's all about health. And that's why I have specialized now in nutritional medicine and preventive medicine. But I wanted to give you that insight today because we're facing this international crisis, but it's all about immune health. And one of the greatest ways to build up your immune system and enhance it and optimize it is by taking the optimals each and every day.